Hello! With the roof on the boat, the construction of the cabin was essentially finished. I had about a month and a half to go before we would be heading south for the winter, and I had a long list of jobs to do first. The first job on the list was to build the Flybridge. As well as giving us an upper helm, the Flybridge would also give us a place to store our solar panels. With the Flybridge built, I was able to finish the fiberglass on the front of the cabin as well as the bridge, tying everything together. The final picture shows the Flybridge with the gauges, controls, and steering. Next on the to-do list was the swim platform. I started by making a piece of oak lumber that would give a solid attachment to the transom. I installed 4 half-inch stainless bolts that would go through the transom and be secured with nuts and washers on the inside. I added additional framing in the swim platform to receive the braces and swim ladder. While I was building the platform, I also built the ladder to get up onto the roof. Just a little quick video of what's going on. So the boat, which I'm not going to show you because the garage doors are closed and the boat's out there in the cold and the rain, but under the tarp shelter, so it's actually nice and dry in there. Anyway, we're into 9th of October. Happy birthday to my little sister. And the weather has got very much fall-like. So thankfully I'm in the garage here with a little bit of heat on. It's not hot, but it's okay. And doing the swim platform here. So I finished the underside of it yesterday, and Lisa and I flipped it over this morning, so now I can do the top side. It will bolt through the hull with those 4 half-inch diameter stainless bolts. And so my next step here is to put the non-skid on. So for that, what I've done, and I did it on the decks and the roof of the houseboat already, is I will put down a layer of gel coat, and while it's still wet, I sprinkle in silica sand, which it's actually pool filter sand. And what I learned is there's no such thing as too much. You just lay it on a good thick layer everywhere. Too little is a problem, too much is not a problem, and you just lay it on so it's fully covered everywhere good. And then after it cures, you sweep off everything that'll sweep off, and what's left behind, which is a nice, even, smooth, consistent layer, then you gel coat over top of that. And I'm quite happy with it's a bit of an aggressive non-skid. There's no fear that us old people will be slipping and falling on our butts, but it also will work very well. And it might be a little bit of work to clean because it's got a lot of little nooks and crannies, but basically any non-skid, you have that issue, so you have to use like a good stiff plastic bristle brush type of thing. But yeah, I'm it's a nice consistent finish. That's the part that I like, is it's not kind of blotchy or bandy or whatever. So yeah, so we have the swim platform here. And then over here, we have the ladder that goes up to the roof of the boat. I had fun figuring out a way to make it so I could gel coat all surfaces of the ladder. So I made up a rigging of board coming out there, and then I've got screws up into the underside of the ladder where it actually fastens to the boat through the deck. And then up top, I put a post and an angle brace and a board and another board and another screw, and we'll just swing by over here. And that screw goes into where one of the brackets secures the top of the ladder. So no holes that aren't actually going to be used anyway. And I can get around all surfaces of the ladder, top, bottom, sides. So it's all gel coated on the outside, finished. And now I'm going to non-skid the treads. So I've masked off the area that I'm going to do the sand on. And I will do the same processes over there, lay in some gel coat, and then sprinkle on lots of sand, let it cure, sweep it off, and then top coat it with 3 more coats of gel coat. That kind of softens it down so it's not so much like sandpaper, and it's just a nice non-skid surface. So yeah, now the 3 coats of gel coat, the first one will be thinned so it really soaks in and wraps up around those sand particles good to make sure they're fully encased. And the final 2 coats will be unthinned, rolled on, so it has a little more fill in the dips and smooth off the top, so it's a nice surface. So anyway, that's where we're at today. Time to mix up a batch of gel coat and get some non-skid on. So there's the platform with the coat of gel coat and the sand sprinkled on. I'm sure in the video it probably looks somewhat like a swim platform, but if you get looking really close, you can see that there's sand, and in some places there's mounds of sand. Anyway, once I it cures, which is a little slow, but it seems to be happening. It's not quite 60 degrees in here, and I've got the heaters running now. That's out at the wall. It's obviously hotter where the heater is, so I've got one heater by the platform and one by the ladder, and I've been having good luck at, come out an hour or so later, and yep, it's gone. So we'll see. Now today's also Easter dinner with Lisa's family, so I don't know if I'll be touching this again today, but that's okay. Nice to have some family visiting too. Can't spend every waking moment working on this boat, although some days it feels like that's what's going on. Anyhow, that's where we're at. So there's the swim platform with the excess sand swept off. Just the stuff that's left stuck in the surface, which basically is nothing loose here. I've swept it thoroughly. You can vacuum it too, but I was a little afraid of maybe putting some scratches in it, so I just gave it a really good sweeping. So now I'm ready to throw a coat of gel coat on. Thinned gel coat. Soak in good, wrap around all those sand crystals so they're permanently part of the swim platform. Another significant job was to build the freshwater and blackwater tanks. They are designed to go under the floor and the bottom of the V-hull on each side of the keel stringer. They are fully fiberglassed, and the inside of the freshwater tank is finished with gel coat. All right, it is October 26th. This time last year we were in Florida dealing with hurricane damage. This year, happily, so far, touch wood, which I just did, there have been no hurricanes hitting our part of Florida. It's been a productive summer. Never goes as fast as you'd like, but it's looking very much like a boat now. And I'm done working on it for this year. All that's left to do is clean up the mess of the garage, which is what I'm working on right now. And I just thought maybe it was time for an update. So that's where I had my big workbench to build the holding tank and water tank, and before that the roof. And over here was another work area that's semi-picked up, but a long way to go. So the plan on this part of the deal is to clean all this mess up and get our 20-foot cuddy over to that side of the garage where that bench is, without being able to go in through the door that lines up with it because of a little boat parked in the way. So I'm going to have to parallel park it in through the other door and over to that side. So that should be interesting, but I believe I can do it. So how about the houseboat progress? Well, it's the holes in the transom are where the swim platform will bolt on. That's where the propane tank goes. And I guess I can give a little shot up the side. So we've got windows in now, a roof on. There will be a black rub rail accent along here covering that seam where I lapped the decks down onto the side of the hull. I still haven't sanded the hull, so it will look better than this when it's ready to launch. And yeah, so black rub rail, black window frames, black fascia on the roof. Gives it a little bit of something to break up the masses of white. And so then we go up into the boat. all the doors and windows are installed. So there's the back door and the window, and the ladder goes up onto the roof, and the flybridge up at the front there. Still needs a couple doors on those panels. They might happen in December when we're back for Christmas. Might not happen till spring. And we'll open the door here. Go down inside my ladder, which eventually will be nice stairs. So this is inside the boat, and not sure how well the video shows it, but it's actually quite a large space. We'll have our dinette in this back corner. It'll have the window out the side as well as out the back. Stairs up to the door there. And the kitchen cupboards along that wall. And then the fridge will be in that spot that has no stud because it needs ventilation and such to be installed. And up to the front of the boat. I'm going to pause now because I see my wife is getting ready to leave. She's running off to Toronto. All right, said bye to Lisa. Now I'll carry on with this. So, yeah, this is the front of the boat. Flybridge up top, sliding door, 3 windows, and the lit up interior. The swim platform is all finished and sitting on the front deck for the winter. It doesn't need to be in the way yet. And shot down the side of the boat with the window up in the main salon, the bathroom window, and then the dinette window at the back. So I will out into the driveway where I can get around the boat. I've got ladders everywhere because I'm going to do some extra reinforcing, bracing, and whatever to make this shelter be okay for the winter. I've done ropes down that side to give a little extra support for the tarp if there's any snow that it should melt and shed off when the sun shines, but just in case a wet snow sticks, a little extra support for the tarp so it doesn't belly down too much. So I still have to do this other side. I'm going to add a whole lot more diagonal bracing and a few things to hopefully get it through the winter. It'd be one thing if we were here all winter. We could deal with it if we saw an issue, but we'll be home. Not likely get a lot of snow while we're gone in November, unless we get some freaky November storm, and then it'll be all winter, so you never know what may happen. So anyway, in here I've made that is the holding tank for the black water, and over on the other side is the water tank. They both hold 70 gallons. US gallons. Sounds better than Canadian. That would only be like 58 or whatever. I'm not sure what the total will be. And then the lids for them with some baffles to hopefully keep things from sloshing around too much if it's rough or whatever. And they're going to go in the floor in the area that doesn't have anything on it. The floor that's on there now is just temporary. It's just got like a couple of screws in each piece to hold them in place just so I could work in here. So I'll have to lift up the floor. Those 2 tanks will drop down into the V in the middle, and then I'll permanently put the floor down. But that was the last fiberglassing. I finished them yesterday, and we leave for Florida in, well, a week from yesterday we're leaving, so I guess 6 days we're leaving. So between now and then it's a case of buttoning everything up, getting rid of some leaves off the lawn, packing obviously, and just getting all ready to be gone for the winter. So decided it was time to stop work on the boat and start prepping for our winter. So yeah, so this is our space. I think we'll be quite comfortable cruising up the waterways when we get it all finished. So next summer, there's probably 3 weeks worth of outdoor work, getting all the sanding and cleaning the hull up and then putting on fittings and whatever. Maybe even be a month, but other than that, it'll be finishing off the interior, which is a job for sure, but this is just up the stairwell to the front door. So anyway, yeah, so lots of work to do yet, but at least we have a shell of a boat. Now it'll be a case of making it a finished boat that we can enjoy. So until spring, this is it for houseboat construction.